Hey guys, welcome to another video. I have to buy a truck and I want to document that entire process for you here on this channel. I want to do a lot more with my channel in general. I've done a lot over the years, but we're actually moving back to North Carolina, back to the racetrack, and we're going to be doing so much more fun stuff. So if you're a longtime viewer of this channel or any of the out of spec channels, then you'll notice a lot of stuff is going on the out of spec channels. And yeah, that's because we're right in the middle of a move to the East Coast. As part of that, I've got to move a lot of cars around, sort of an increasing amount. And it's not just me, it's also my colleagues. Like we just are moving cars all the time. And I just towed across the country with a Rivian. And while towing with a Rivian is great, and I absolutely love towing electric, the range and charging equation, and then the time you spend charging and the cost you spend charging, although that's maybe not the biggest factor here because I'm buying a new truck, like the cost, the time, the annoyance, it's just not worth it. And so I kind of got a little frustrated during, my 2,000-mile road trip towing with a Rivian from here in Colorado to North Carolina. And I'm like, why are we doing this to ourselves over and over? We are always on the road doing huge miles. We have a ton of cool programs I've been working on for the second half of this year. And we honestly just need a truck that can tow not just one, but 2 or 3 cars behind it for a long distance. Now, typically what we've done when I need to move around more cars is I'll use my truck and trailer, my Rivian and my flatbed trailer, and I'll have Danny, who's our car hauler, put 3 cars on his hot shot style trailer, and we'll move all the cars to where we need to go. But we actually have some programs coming up that require moving, 5 or 6 cars, and it's just like we need the equipment to do our jobs, which is to make videos reviewing cars for you guys. And so, I sort of like in the middle of that trip, I was like, okay, we got to get a truck. Then I'm a truck guy. I've always loved diesel trucks. I've owned some diesels before, but never like a super duty or heavy duty truck. And that comes down to now, okay, what truck are we going to get? It's important to remember that it's not going to be my daily driver. I love driving electric every day. Love having, 830 horsepower in my Rivian or 1,000 horsepower in my Model S. Like, that's great. But I need a truck to do long distance towing and hauling with. And it's sort of just a business need at this point. There's no way around it. And that also comes down to a trailer. So I guess I've got to choose what truck I want to go for. And it really comes down to Ford, GMC / Chevy, although probably GMC, or Ram. And each one of these trucks, like, I don't think we could actually choose one that's bad for us, in the sense where we need a, truck that we're going to have for a long period of time. I'm going to option it up because I'm a nerd and I love having all the cool tech stuff in there. Even though I'm probably not going to be the one driving this truck all the time. I think Tymon's going to be driving it. Danny's probably going to use it. But I'll be driving it, of course, a bunch, especially over the next month or two. And like, I got to buy a truck this week. Like, I need to make this happen. So, probably even by the time this video is aired, hopefully I'll have everything sorted and we've got a truck. But I'm really curious to see what you guys think, at least. Should we go Ford, GMC, or Ram? Here's my consideration. Let's start at Ram. They just redid the Ram heavy duty 3500s, for this year. And I think they did a really nice job on the design. It's a little bit, always a little bit nervous on the first model year stuff. It's a new engine, new transmission. I love Cummins diesels, inline 6. I mean, I love old 24 valve Cummins diesels. And I'm like, oh man, how cool would it be to have a Cummins? But then I drive a lot of new Stellantis products. And I kind of hate to say this, but they just don't build good cars right now. Like Dodge Charger EV just left such a bad taste in my mouth. The Fiat 500e we had on test broke down. My sister drives a Jeep Wrangler that's had a bunch of issues. And I'm just like, until they can kind of prove themselves with the new platform, I'm not sure I want to be the beta tester for the new Ram. Now, I typically am the beta tester for like new electric cars because that's what you guys watch on Out of Spec. And it's like, oh, if it breaks down on us, that's funny. It's why I bought a VinFast, and the list goes on because we're sort of beta testing. But this is a truck I need to like work. And I kind of don't want to make a ton of videos about it. On this channel, we will. but I just need it to work. And it's very possible that the new Ram is incredibly reliable. There's also the fact that the previous generation Rams have huge discounts at the dealer right now. And those have the Cummins in them, and that could be a real option. Except I just don't think I would want to buy a new Stellantis product. I just don't know if I can get on board with that. So then that brings us to GMC or Chevy. Just from a styling perspective alone, I love the GMC Denali Ultimate 2500s. They look amazing. There's something so cool about that truck. I also love the interiors. The seats are kind of the weak spot. I've spent quite a bit of time in those trucks, and I just don't fit that well in them. But I like the Duramax, although the reliability may not be so great. I think those trucks rock, and I really think Denali Ultimate is a real strong contender here for me because they look great. I like what GM's doing as a company in general, doing, CT5V Blackwing with a manual. That's awesome. Corvette ZR1, 1,000 plus horsepower, biggest 76 millimeter turbos that's ever been mounted on a series production car. Let's put 2 of them on there. I kind of like that vibe, and I don't really know if I should go off buying my truck off of what other GM products are coming out, but I just like the GM thing recently. I've kind of gotten into it, so I could really see us going for that. And then the last option would be a Ford F-250, F-350. And my dad's always driven Ford trucks. I feel totally comfortable with Ford trucks. The 6.7 is a great engine that's been around forever. And just like, anything really, the diesel emission stuff is what leads to most of the reliability issues. So you got to run highway miles, keep the DPF clean. You got to run fuel additives. You got to change your oil a lot on the 6.7. But if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. And in general, that's where most of the issues fall, is with the emission systems on all 3 vehicles. But like Chevy and GMC, I've seen just horror stories of folks getting their DPFs clogged or some major emission related issue, and the dealer's not being able to fix them. At least with the 6.7, yeah, it's been some iterative changes over time on the Ford side, but everyone kind of knows what could go wrong. And as long as you take care of them, you high idle them, you get a high idle kit, you do some stuff, they should last for a really long time. And so the other thing that Ford has going for it are the best seats. The Ram seats are pretty nice too, but I really love their lay flat massaging seats in the Ford. Yeah, I know we're bougie. We're looking at a luxury truck here. It's actually not that much more money than a base work truck. And for a truck we're going to keep for a while and, to have for comparison tests or whatever, because I would like to review some other trucks, we're going to spec up the truck because, it's not like we're buying these things all the time. If we're just going to have a truck to keep, let's just go for the nice one. That's my view. And some of you guys will be saying, no, don't spend your money on the unnecessary things. They actually hold their value really well. If we ever had to sell it, I'm looking at these Ford Limiteds, these 2024 Ford Limiteds, F-250, F-350, they're like 8, 9, 10 grand off on the dealer lots, and used, they're more money than the new ones are. I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense, but diesel trucks hold their value as long as you take care of them. So those are the 3 brands. And before I tell you which way I'm leaning, let me talk a little bit about what we need out of a truck and what trailer I'm thinking about getting. Now, I think it's worth doing a whole video on doing gross combined vehicle weight rating calculations. But originally I was thinking about getting a dually and a gooseneck car hauler. That's where this all started. I'm like, let's get a 3 or 4 place, big boy, gooseneck F450 or equivalent dually and have a real rig going down the road, because that would be sick. We could have it forever and it'll just work for our needs. The problem becomes when you tow over 26,000 pounds gross combined vehicle weight rating. So that means the maximum possible weight put in your truck. So it's GVWR, so truck weight plus payload, plus the entire trailer weight plus its payload. It's not about what you put in there, but to stay legal without a CDL, which I don't have a CDL, you need to have your GVWR of your trailer and your truck, again, the theoretical maximum, be under 26,001 pounds. And there are some ways around that. You can get some car haulers with like a bedroom and a bathroom in there, and you might fall under an RV category. And I don't know, I just felt like that was kind of skirting the rules a little bit. Maybe if you think it's not, let me know, because I still think we will one day end up with a solution like that. But in general, I was like, considering I know we got to stay under 26,000 gross combined, that kind of eliminates the dually fun big boy truck stuff. We're thinking single rear wheel. Let's figure out the trailer. So I went trailer first, and I actually bought a trailer already. This is why I need to get a truck this week. I bought a 36-foot bumper pull. The reason it's bumper pull is because I can still tow it with my Rivian or a Lightning or a Sierra EV if I needed to in a pinch. And again, the idea is to still get a gooseneck fifth wheel car hauler at some point. So I really want a gooseneck, but I just thought, okay, let's just slow down a little bit. Let's just get a bumper pull. And it's a 36-foot car hauler that can hold 2 cars. So it's enclosed. It's a beautiful trailer. It's all blacked out. It's sick. I can't wait to show you guys in a couple episodes from now. But the problem was that trailer was 21,000 pounds GVWR. And I'm like, I can't get a truck that can tow this thing legally. Now, again, I'm towing it mostly for my own needs, right? Just moving my cars around. It's not like I'm starting a hot shot business or moving cars around. So I really am concerned about staying under 26,000 and not getting a CDL. But I called the trailer manufacturer, and I'll unveil the trailer and everything. They said I could derate the trailer, which I didn't know you could do, but is totally common in this industry. I talked to Danny about it, again, our hotshot car driver, and he said he derated his trailer. And so I said, what can we derate the trailer to? They said, you just give us a number, we'll print the label on there. The trailer stays the same. You can't put as much weight into it, right? Because you still have to adhere to your GVWR of your, in my case, 4,800 pound trailer, plus the amount of weight I can put in there. But I was like, okay, well, a couple small electric cars or one big electric car, one small one, if I can hold around 10,000, 9,000-ish pounds in the trailer, that will cover 95% of my needs spread across 2 cars. So then I started researching like what single rear wheel trucks have in terms of weight. And in general, they're like between 10,000 and 12,500 or so pounds GVWR. Again, that's truck weight plus maximum payload. And I thought, okay, what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a trailer that most trucks could pull. Because it's not just going to be whatever truck we end up buying pulling this thing. It's also going to be friends are going to borrow this trailer. We're going to have test trucks in at the office. Manufacturers send us cars. And, maybe if we end up with a GMC, let's just say, and Ford says, hey, we've got the competitor truck in the fleet. Do you want to borrow it? Yeah, I want to be able to tow this trailer with as many different configurations as possible. So I settled in on derating the trailer to 14,000 pounds GVWR. That leaves 12,000 pounds GVWR for the truck to pull the trailer and stay legal. That covers, at least in the Ford lineup, every single F-250 in any configuration, and pretty much every single F-350 except for long bed crew cab, which is 12,400 pounds, and one of the couple other configurations like 12.3, 12.2. Those trucks don't work for towing, but pretty much any normal F-250, F-350, 2,500, 3,500 will be able to tow this trailer, and you'll stay legal under 26. So that's the whole reason why I'm going for a single rear wheel diesel truck. And the reason that I'm going for the trailer derated to 14 is because I'll still have 9,200 pounds, 9,300 pounds I can put in the trailer and stay totally legal under 26, everyone's happy, everyone's safe, everything's good like that. So then, it comes down to the trucks. Well, I know I want a diesel. A lot of you guys will be saying, well, Kyle, you don't need a diesel, a Godzilla V8 or even GM's big gas V8 would be able to handle towing. Look, at the end of the day, I just like diesel trucks. I love the torque of a diesel. I love the way they sound. I love the way they feel. I love that they really do run for an incredibly long time if you take care of them. That means frequent oil changes and maintenance, a little bit of warm-up time, not a ton, a little bit of cool-down time, a little bit of fuel additive, a little bit of high idle if it's going to sit there. You just got to take care of them. You got to know how to take care of them. And it's a little bit like an electric car in a sense, where I'm always kind of thinking about EV charging, okay, battery temperature, stuff like that. You do have to take a little bit more care with a diesel, but man, do you just get a truck that can run. And we're also going to be towing, this truck is capable of towing more than we're putting on there. I could get a CDL one day and get a gooseneck and put it on this truck and be able to tow pretty heavy. Any of these trucks can do, 25,000 pounds or so when we start talking about these big boy 350s or 3500s. So I just wanted the most flexibility. And that's why I'm kind of in between the, 3500 class of Ram, GMC, and Ford. I'm really curious to see what you guys think in the comments below. There's a couple things that are intriguing to me. I'll tell you just, sort of to finish up here. The Ford is the ugliest truck, in my opinion. You should never buy a truck based off looks. I used to have a Cybertruck. It's gone now, but okay, don't buy a truck based on looks. Buy it off function. I think the Ford just looks a little bit weak sauce. The Ram, maybe even the previous generation looked better, but in certain configurations, the Ram looks awesome. Beautiful interior. To me, just that Stellantis stuff kind of freaks me out. New model year, I don't know. The GMC looks amazing, but then has some reliability issues. And the other thing is Ford has lane centering. They have Copilot 360 in their trucks and also a ton of trailer tech. The other trucks offer a lot of cameras and trailer tech as well, but Ford has I can put the TPMS in the trailer. The other trucks offer this as well. But I just think Ford's got a really nice software package when it comes to integrating with your trailer. I love that. I also love the gauges the Ford gives you. When I drove a Chevy HD truck recently, I couldn't see any gauges, no turbo stuff. There was no diesel exhaust brake information. And I was just like, where are all the gauges in this thing? And, I'm a big fan and also lucky to be friends with Andre at TFL. And I watch all the Ikes and the Super Ikes, and I watch Mr. Truck and him going back and forth. I've been binge watching TFL Truck to make this decision and to really come up with stuff. And man, they are the only outlet out there really reviewing new trucks competitively, I would say. I really love their style. They are just absolutely nailing it. I feel like how we handle EVs, they kind of handle trucks. I think it's so cool. And I'm really thankful the information that TFL provides is out there, because it's so valuable to me making a decision in a segment of car that I don't normally operate in. Right? Like, I love little enthusiast sports cars. I love electric cars. Diesel trucks, yeah, I'm into them. I'm so excited that I have to get one. It's kind of cool. But I don't know much about them, to be honest. I'm learning along with everyone. So I've got three options. I've got gamble on the new Ram stuff and deal with the Stellantis thing, which maybe isn't actually that bad. They have beautiful interiors and great styling, I think. And I love Cummins engines. A huge inline six Cummins guy. I could go with the attractive choice, which is the GMC, but then the seats aren't so great and no lane centering in that truck. I don't know if the Ram actually has lane centering. I was going through the website. I couldn't figure it out. They have active lane something, but I think it's ping-ponging. And the Ford, I think, is the only one that does actual active lane centering, which is like an autopilot type thing. And to me, that's so important. That might be enough just to sway me over to the Ford. But regardless, even if Ram offered it, I would really strongly consider that. Got to research it. And then, the GMC, I don't know, just the lack of lane centering. I think it's the truck I want, but it's probably not the smartest choice for the business. I think reliability, some other stuff. Man, they're beautiful though. And then you got the Ford, which maybe it's just because my dad, like I said, my dad's always had Ford trucks, but to me, it just feels like the kind of default choice. They feel the most robust, whether that's completely subjective. It doesn't mean anything. But the 6.7's been around forever. The 10 speed's amazing. There's so many different options and configurations. And while I think from the exterior, they don't look that great, there's plenty of upfit modifications we can do to make it, I'm not talking let's put a huge lift on it or anything. I'm just saying little stuff here and there that we can tweak it to give it some stance. I love the F450 front wide fenders, and the 350 and 250 singles just look a little weak sauce. I don't really like the grills on them. I prefer the older Fords, actually. Maybe I'd consider that, but I think I want to get a new truck just to have, because I know we're going to keep it so long. And so let me know what you guys think. What would you do? Obviously, we need a trailer to move stuff around, not even just cars, but also equipment and other stuff. That's Non-negotiable, I need an enclosed trailer. If I'm going to do an enclosed trailer, I'm like, let's just get a 2-car hauler because I've got all the room in the world to park it. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a pain, 36 feet getting around a parking lot, but I think it's worth the trade-off of being able to put 2 cars in there. Diesel versus gas, to me, non-negotiable. Got to have a diesel. I just think they are so great to drive, diesel trucks. They sound amazing. They run forever if you take care of them. I love diesel trucks. And then it comes down to which brand. Ram, GMC, or Ford. I honestly could see myself going any direction. So let me know what you think I should go for. I'm sure in just a day or two after this video goes live, you will find out together, which will be great. And I'll bring you along through that journey. So really curious to see what your comments are. What would you choose? What would you drive? And if you like trucks or even just car stuff in general, subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be posting so much more on the Kyle Connor YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in another one again soon. Bye-bye.